Alrighty then, hello and welcome. I'm Adrian Gregan and I'm back for more Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. Today we're on Episode 5, which is the second part of this seeming two-parter, this little mini-arc, this jail mini-arc, The Womb Must Die. Last time was an interesting one. Fushiguro's dog died, Nobara got bored, and Yuji slammed the snooze button so hard his alarm clock broke. So, all three of our first years are certainly going through their own struggles, but you know who isn't going through their own struggles? The womb that must die, because it very much did die. At least it very much seems so. Tsukuna brought out the very first domain expansion that we've seen. Very excited to see that as it finally develops. Is one of those proper nouns that you just see thrown around the anime community, just because it's so ever present in JJK. So this is the first time we've seen it. Seems to be a sort of final move that I would assume is unique to each individual, and it just annihilated the special grade curse that we were here to kill. So it looks like the new special grade curse that we're here to deal with is Sukuna, who now has 15% of his power because he's eaten the third finger, which was why this special grade is so strong. We also had an interesting conversation about between Fushiguro and Yuji about responsibility for the people you save. That was something that I found easily to be the highlight of the episode, other than obviously the action. But it's the idea that what if somebody you save goes out and then kills people, right? Are you responsible for that? My response to that is, okay, well, you're only saying that because he's a prisoner, because he has a criminal record. So what if somebody you save who seems to be a good citizen goes out and goes on a killing spree? Then what? Is it less regrettable that I saved them than if I saved a criminal who went out and did a crime? You could argue that like the odds are higher, but crimes are crimes and people are people, right? My only responsibility is that I am saving people in front of me, because I do not weigh the value of a life based on the content of that life. So I would say Yuji is right here. You definitely want to save people, and at the very least, make sure that they have a proper death, regardless of how they lived. And that is something that I believe firmly. And I think a lot of the world believes to a large degree, because capital punishment at the moment is more frowned upon than not. It looks like Nobara is going to the hospital. I guess she got bored a little bit too hard, and she's not doing super well. Fushiguro is waiting outside. He did call for reinforcements, so hopefully we'll have some sort of Jujutsu sorcerer somewhere between our first years and Gojo. Pretty large range, obviously. And potentially we'll have him help to calm down Sukuna, because it seems that whether there's other circumstances or whether it's because now that he has three fingers, he's over that 10% boundary, he's getting too strong for Yuji to easily deal with. That could be really interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more internal conflicts, like within Yuji's mind. We see Sukuna and Yuji kind of converse and potentially even battle, as they literally fight for control over him, which could be really interesting development moving forward. For those of you who saw last episode, no, I'm still not over the phone breaking. If you know, you know. I thought watching my reaction again would get me to the ED, so I'd be able to kind of cleanse my palate, but then I realized that the ending scene was also in the reaction, so it was spoiled once again. So Nobara devastated about her phone. Trust me, I'm even more devastated. I'm really hoping we get a nice bow to wrap up this quest on, just so I can finally move on from that, because that is just unacceptable, heartbreaking. Because I've broken many phones the same way. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I'm excited to get into this new episode. It looks to be the conclusion of this little arc, and we'll see where it goes from there. So, as with all my videos, I do full reactions. I don't cut them down. However, on YouTube, they are edited with the audio and visual. If you want the unedited full reaction, that is in the description. It is free. It is on I can't speak. It is free. It is on Pixel Drain. You can find it in the link in the description below, or you can just stay here and watch the edited version. Either way, the analysis, the episode breakdown, and anything I think is worthy of talking will be on YouTube. So whether you're going in the description or you're staying here, I will see you after the episode for the discussion and the breakdown. With all that housekeeping out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into... I almost said Chainsaw Man. Wow. This is going to be a running thing, isn't it? Those two are going to be neck and neck in my brain the entire time. Let's go into Jujutsu Kaisen, Season 1, Episode 5, The Curse Must Die 2. you're gonna do it already. If you can do it already. Is Fushiguro gonna make his way back inside or no? But he already knows that Sukuna's in there, because that was part of the plan. Hey Sukuna! How's it going? Let's chat. Oh shoot. Okay, so this is gonna be far more interesting. Okay, well that's unnecessary. Now they have to make a new one. Oh. Oh yeah, we also saw that he can just heal his hand right up. And I think since they both use similar cursed energy, humans are probably capable of that to some degree. But he can't. Oh. Oh. No. Wait, did he not eat it last episode? Okay, he didn't. So it wasn't even the 15%. It was just interesting. It was the negative energy, wasn't it? Okay, perfect. OP time. Time for me to think. I thought it was the finger because I forgot that he hadn't eaten it yet. So he was still at the 10% power when Yuji was able to take control. But it's probably the negative energy, isn't it? It's the fact that, as we were seeing last time, Yuji had his first true face-to-face encounter with death, which I forgot to mention. Obviously, a huge moment. Kind of going full circle on the. Oh wow! I need some water. Going full circle on the principle, mentioning that nobody knows how they're going to act when they die, which Yuji admitted he agreed to. So it could be that the negative energy that he was feeling, that he used to fuel his own fist when he was fighting the special grade, might be holding him back right now, because it fueled him, but it also fueled Sukuna, who's a part of him. I wonder if that's why he can't take over right now, because Sukuna is stronger from the negative energy. And now that he's had a finger, that's only going to be escalated. It's really interesting. Oh, I just realized the principal's in the park there. It's interesting. So I wonder if him getting out of it may be a part of it may be getting over that fear of death, that incredibly high hurdle of facing death head on and barely getting out with the skin of your teeth. Just got to overcome that negativity. Mm-hmm. He's weak right now, mentally. Mm-hmm. Reverse cursed techniques. Interesting. Oh, interesting. He can't live without it, but he still takes damage from it. Still weakened. Time to stretch. Good, he's well-rounded. He's not just a Pokemon trainer. Oof. I really don't like the 4 eyes. Oh, wow. Orochi. Woo. So clean. Oh, lightning. Interesting. Now things are getting interesting. Oh. Yeah. Your Sukuna's Gojo. Try to punch him, he's gonna sit on top of you. Fushiguro not weak, but there's levels to these things. Ooh. Nice save. Good save. Just sheer power. Sheer power. I wonder if some of that's also Yuji, because Yuji's also just incredibly strong. Stronger than his physical body should be. Sukuna might also be weaponizing that too. Like the perfect vessel for him. Doggo. Interesting, so he can't just summon them. When they die, it seems like they actually die. They're gone. He has to repeal them before they die. Interesting. But he can probably create more. I wonder if it takes cursed energy to create one. And that's his limit on that. It's really interesting. His cursed energy, his Jujutsu is definitely the most interesting to me so far. I'd love to see how it develops throughout the show. He's our only way of getting you, so he's worth quite a bit. Also, he's got Shijo, personal feelings. That was him talking in the beginning. Inequality from the OP. Unfairness. Cursed. Blessing. I thought that was a feminine name. Interesting. I didn't think about that. His name means blessing, and it's a show about curses. That's why he's against saving the prisoners. They've been condemned by law. Evil people, justice. Oh, wow. So it's not just about... It's not just about being responsible for people to save. But I save people. Okay. So he's growing a little bit. Last episode, he wasn't willing to save the prisoner, but I wonder if that'll change. Really hope he's not the one died. Oh? Is he saying this in case this is his final words? Good person. Oh. Is this just a temporary pushing back? Oh, wow. He's the one who died. Which begs the question, now what? Sukuna mentioned he can live on without Yuji, but I don't think that means he can just take over his body after he dies. I imagine he needs a living host. So what happens here? Is Sukuna gonna keep him alive? Oh, this volcano head. I've seen him before. Okay, so they've been collecting fingers too. This is our main antagonist group we're playing Capture the Flag with. I've also seen that freaky guy. Yeah, so they're the ones who gave it to the womb. Interesting. It's just him because he's the human. Assuming he's a human. Could just be a curse who's playing off as a human, but... Interesting. I warned you. Trying to cover himself. Come on, man, it's okay. Really? Despite, he's probably not very well liked. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you can clearly tell something's different about him. It's not just because he's not smiling. And she definitely needs sleep. Nice guys, huh? What in the world? Mm-hmm. I wonder if Yuji's consciousness will live on with Sukuna, and that's what we're going to do here. He actually did die, but now he's he's been linked with Sukuna. So he's probably had seniors die. That was 2 weeks? Kind of wish we got a little bit more of that. I appreciate the fast-moving pace, I really do, but kind of wish we got a little bit more of them all getting along. I do like this digestion, though. Slow things down. It's not like he's actually trying to convince you that Yuji's gone forever. Obviously, that's not an argument, but it really does feel like... Oh, that's Zane Senpai. Interesting. She's the one who's... Parkour Panda! Hey, finally! Oh, are these second years? Potentially third years? Yeah, Zane was the one that she was saying... She's the one that he was likening Yuji to back in episode 1. Second year. I like Parkour Panda already. Salmon roll? Curse speech user. What? Can only speak in onigiri? Panda. His name's just Panda! Parkour Panda it is. Got it. That's his official name now. Oh my god, that's great. Okay, that's graphic. I didn't need to see that. Oh, I like him. Kyoto Sister School. Kyoto Sister School. Tokyo and Kyoto, that makes sense. I wonder if they have more than 3 first years. Sports festivals. Smash Bros is crazy. Okay, so we've got a gamer author. I respect it. I used to play Smash so much. What do you say? I was too busy thinking about Smash Bros. 3-man team. Principals of both schools. Each propose a formed competition. Entire day. Okay. So a full day over the course of 2 days. 2 half days probably. 10,000 individual. Okay, yeah, we got a tournament arc. Cool. Of course. I like the pink glasses. Pretty fun. Os, os, os. Never thought I'd see a panda doing that. Wasn't sure what I'd think about him, but I'm loving him so far. Oh, interesting. So do it before summer really picks up. That's really interesting. I wonder if Yuji's actually going to be out of the story for a little while. Bonito Flakes. Reverse the current position. Oh, what? So he's definitely human. I wonder, is he part of Kyoto? Wait, I'm not stupid, am I? I'm not the stupidest person alive, am I? I'm not. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that the other principal wasn't that guy. And okay, no, he's like a couple centuries older, it looks like. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not the stupidest person alive. But doing so, confirming I seem to be the stupidest person alive. I'm very good at missing things like that, so I've got to double check. They look very similar, you know? Humans, they all look alike. No one's got volcanoes on their head. Oh. That's an interesting idea. Oh, wow. That's a really interesting idea. Okay, he's easily strung along. He is the strongest, okay. Oh. Who are you? This guy is a goon. This guy's clearly a goon. He's got no plans. He's always following in people's plans. He is the exact opposite of a puppet master. He is the shoes on the bottom of a puppet. Yeah, he's attached to Sukuna. Okay. I really like the direction this is going. I really like the direction this is going. Seven. I don't think that's how that works, but I respect the attempt. Aww. Okay, that was Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, Episode 5. Sure enough, we concluded the arc pretty quickly within like the first half of the episode. And then the second half was some really interesting setup. There's a lot worth talking about in this episode, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. So, first things first, Sukuna finally showing himself, maybe not finally, but really showing himself to be a lot more than just, I can't wait to slaughter all the women and children. As soon as I wake up, I'm killing his friends. This is a little bit, he's showing himself to be a little more conniving, a little bit more thinking a little bit more clever than that. He wants to actually have a chat here, and he wants to figure out the best situation for himself. And he's not actually just a murder-crazy fiend, which I figured was the case. I pretty much knew it, just looking at him and looking at his history, but it's nice to really see him in action. This is the first time we really get to see Sukuna as Sukuna, like really being himself, really feeling free, able to stretch his wings and use the wide space around him, as he mentions, and as he hurls Fushiguro through a couple buildings. Doesn't freeze a bird. It'll kill you. So he takes out his heart, which weakens him, and he effectively calls the bluff. He effectively tries to call Fushiguro's bluff that Yuji would be willing to kill himself to bring himself back, which Fushiguro uses in the end to basically win the fight, instead of using his magic and continuing the fight, which he knows he can't win. Very good plan, Fushiguro's part. Very smart, and also great sacrifice, because to him, he knows that Yuji will die if he does that. So a good sacrifice for the greater good moment. Trying to balance the scales of unfairness, which we'll talk about later. I don't think gratitude will do all is an unfair reality, yeah. He'll do it. He's tough. He's dense. Not just physically. He doesn't have the guts to kill himself. You clearly don't know this guy well enough. Reverse curse techniques. This is interesting. Not too much to talk about here, though. Clearly, I assume this is kind of the dark side of the force deal, where it's like healing yourself, doing things that... I would imagine it's doing things that you can't normally do as a human. And that's a terrible way of phrasing it, because obviously, as a human, you can naturally hurl cursed fists and summon familiars, and obviously none of that's normal to human. What I mean is things that are inherently inhuman, right? Like summoning Shikigami is not something a human can do, but it's not inherently inhuman. It's like magic. It's usual magic. It's summoning familiars. It's fighting. But healing yourself, especially like instantly, is a very unnatural, like beast-like, almost primal thing to do. I wonder if reverse curse techniques are, again, dark side of the force. It's doing these things that you shouldn't be able to do, that go against nature, that go against life, really. Which is ironic because it's healing yourself. You'd think it's on the side of life. But I'm curious. I know we'll explore that later. And I'm curious if we'll see how the wider Jujutsu world thinks about these reverse curse techniques, about these things that I assume are taboo. I don't know why I did quotes there. Things that are taboo to them. It should still be damaging to him. You are... You saw Gojo beat him up, and you got a little too full of yourself, my friend. I don't think he actually underestimated him that much, but he definitely... It's still fair to say he underestimated him. And with just sheer power. This is interesting. It seems that Shikigami died when they were killed. Shiro would be proud of him. I imagine the most cursed energy it takes for him, obviously he expends it summoning them, but I wonder if it takes an immense amount of cursed energy to create new ones that have nothing. And they're precious, so they can't just die like that. They're not just familiars he summons and disassembles at will. They're actually like partners of his in a sense. Created from shadow is also interesting. Makes no difference if he does now, true. What a waste of talent. I don't like agreeing with Sukuna, but I agree with Sukuna. Fushiguro is the one I have my eye on the most right now. Admittedly, it's a small pool. We haven't met a whole lot of characters, seen a whole lot of powers, but his is by far and away the most interesting one to me. Nothing granted is an unfair reality. If I have the kind to curse somebody, I'd rather think about the precious people. Good person. She was cursed. There's a mark on her head. I assume she was actually gotten to by curses. I wonder if cursing is an actual thing here. Human to human curse. Megumi was interesting. When I first heard his name, it kind of caught my attention, but I didn't comment on it. I don't know enough about Japanese names, but my experience is that it's been a more feminine name, a name given to females. And I didn't really think about the fact that it means blessing, right? Megumareru is to be blessed. Megumi is just a blessing. And a short of curses, that's obviously very potent symbolism. A lot of mixed feelings, bad feelings about his father, who named him seemingly offhandedly and left. Though he named him Megumi, I assume as a response to a cursed world, I assume sort of to kind of bestow a blessing upon his son. So I don't want to go off and judge his father too quickly. I think there's more to this story than that. Not that he has any reason to believe that himself, so I don't blame him for thinking this way. And I could be totally wrong, but machine of retribution. Yeah, so this is interesting. He wants good people to enjoy fairness. And then this is the part where I really wish I could do more than 5-second intervals. I want to save people unequally, but that's not true, is it? He wants to save good people, as we saw earlier last episode. He doesn't want to save bad people because bad people have been judged. Prisoners have been judged. People who committed crimes have been judged. They maybe shouldn't be saved because that's unfair. So a little bit more substance here, which makes the discussion last time, his conflict with Yuji last time, even more interesting. Another thing that's teased, that's it. This is where you start burning through your life. Presumably, cursed energy is something that you accumulate through some means or other. And once you've basically used up that, or even if you haven't completely depleted it, you can effectively use your life force, potentially, to add more cursed energy, add more energy to fight with. And here, Sacred Treasure Swing, and Ring. But then he stops. Probably because he realizes fighting is not the way to win here. It's reaching out and getting Yuji back. And it's interesting, right? It's not the usual, I know you're my friend, I know you're still in there, I know you can fight it. There's none of that like shonen positive like heroism or anything. It's just, it's sort of got a double meaning, right? This can either be him just trying to bring Yuji back. It can also work as, if I don't survive, these are my final words. I want you to know this. Because both are both very likely, but he does take back over. Ooh, I think your conviction's a proper one, but I don't think his mind was wrong either. Yeah. I want to save people. I want people to have proper deaths and save as many as I can versus I want to try to add some balance to this unbalanced, unfair world and save good people. I'm done. Don't got to worry for you. You guys can take care of yourself. You're smart. You were able to get through this one. That's a really nice sentiment from Yuji. You were able to get through this. You were able to find the answer to beating Sukuna. Good play. And then we meet these clearly very important characters. I've seen Volcano Head quite a lot. Not sure about the other two. I think the Antler Eyes I've seen before. Might be thinking of someone else, but... And then that guy was really interesting. He's clearly a Jujutsu sorcerer. Not the principal of the Kyoto school, the sister school, but he's clearly somebody. Was there any real reason to use a precious finger to test Sukuna's strength? Yeah, this guy's a bot. This guy's an NPC. This guy's a fool. He's creating no plans of his own. He's following others. He just has dreams and goes knocking on every door he can to achieve them. He doesn't do anything. He's just... Stop talking. No one understands what you're saying. He thinks he's all that, but he's absolutely nothing. I'm willing to bet money that he's less intelligent than Antler Eyes here. And then only for one, because they can't see the curses. I tried to warn them, and Gojo is different here. Even when he tries to add some levity, when the other doctor who really needs some sleep comes in, it's clearly forced. It's not genuine. He's not happy. Higher-ups want to get rid of him because they didn't like me going against them. They knew I was trying to suspend his execution. And they also clearly have vendetta against me. But the feeling's mutual, isn't it? No one expected to become a special grade. Kind of did, though. We kind of did. I wonder if this is somewhat connected to the sorcerer we saw with the curses. I wonder if he's one of these higher-ups. I wonder if he also has a vendetta against Gojo. Not usually this emotional. I've always been a nice guy who got... He really tries hard, but you can see he's not even smiling. He just doesn't have the energy for it. Sukuna's vessel, make sure to get good use out of him. Live a good life doesn't mean you get to die, jerk. And she is clearly processing through it, processing quite a lot. Because those two butted heads almost as much as they were perfectly synchronized. I mentioned before that I kind of wished we had a little bit more with them. I think I kind of take that back. I don't quite agree with it. Because this isn't quite like... Obviously, Yuji's not gone for good. We especially saw at the end of the episode, and we saw that as audience members just looking at our main character. You don't go 6 episodes and actually kill off your main character. You do that to kill off your main character, but you don't do it to kill him off for good. I mean, Attack on Titan, right? But it's to change the status quo, it's to change the events, to change how things are moving, completely throw things up. Not for the sake of... It's not subverting expectations for the sake of subverting expectations. It's subverting expectations in order to completely derail the story that you convince the audience you are on in order to take it in a much more interesting direction, which I really like. And I'm really glad we saw him at the end of this episode, so there's no like pretend that he's actually dead. We're not trying to pull the wool over the audience's eyes. We're fully aware that they're fully aware that this isn't going to work, so we're not even going to pretend that. This is instead used to develop these characters and to kind of like how Yuji had experience with death. Now these guys are having experience with death for someone close to them. It does sound like Fushiguro's had people die who were close to him. It sounds like seniors. He mentioned no peers have died, but interesting. And then we meet some new characters. More glum than usual, Megumi, calling by first name, and he calls her by her last name, Zang Senpai, that's right. Who he mentioned back in... Should have gotten water before I started this discussion. Zang Senpai, who he talked about in episode 1. I believe he was... Yeah, he was walking around the field back when Yuji was still dealing with the clubs and destroying school property. Destroying school property with these like freaking metal balls or whatever those were. He mentioned... I believe it was then that Fushiguro mentioned that this guy's kind of like Zang Senpai. He's stronger than he should be. Or he seems to have some energy around him. So I'm really curious to see what that means for her. And then we meet Parkour Panda, whose name is Panda. So I guess I get to forever call him Parkour Panda, which I'm happy about. And then we've also got Onigiri Man, the best of all students at wielding cursed tools. Cursed tools. So she's got a whole toolbox, no pun intended. She's got probably a wide range of tools she can use. However, I'm curious if that box is multiple tools or if she does play favorites. She does have a special tool she likes the most. I wouldn't be surprised if most people do. He only speaks in ingredients of rice balls. It's onigiri, right? Cursed speech user with a speech quirk. Inumaki. Definitely something to look into. Definitely something to pay attention to. Onigiri, yeah. Okay, so he speaks ingredients of onigiri. Cursed speech user. So I imagine... So is this the personality he's building out? So I assume cursed speech user means his curses, his jujutsu it takes the form of speech. If you've read the Aragon books, The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini, it's sort of like the ancient language, where if you say something in the ancient language, basically the spell will come out practically naturally. So you have to be very careful when you speak. I wonder if this is similar to that, where if he speaks, then the jujutsu basically activates, the spell activates. So either this is him like trying to play this off, so that when he speaks, well, either he's trying to avoid saying things to avoid activating the spell, or he may potentially be pretending, or he may be like this is my character, basically, so that people don't know what I'm going to say and people don't know what activates a spell, things like that. There's a lot of interesting things that this guy implies with his whole existence. But he's Onigiri Man. He was given a name, but he's Onigiri Man. He's a bit softer when Yuta's around. Yuta? Do we know who Yuta is? I don't think so. Right? Did we? No, we only know her. So I don't think we've met Yuta. He's softer when Yuta's around, so Yuta's probably not around right now. Did he not mention what her first name is after she said, you can introduce me by my first name? I don't think we actually learned her first name. Yeah. But I guess they mention Fushiguro only says his first name too. And obviously his first name and his last name is Panda, so he's Panda Panda. No, sorry, his first name is Parkour, so he's obviously Panda Senpai, full name Parkour Panda Senpai, naturally. There's also Okotsu Senpai, who's the only one I can openly respect. He's overseas right now. I think that says more about you than about him. A graphic, come on. Panda praying. Just gonna save that for later. Don't worry about it. I'd like you to participate in the Kyoto Sister School Exchange event. Yeah, so it's a tournament arc. It sounds like it's just 2 days long, one full day. That the two Smash Bros, come on. And they propose competitions. It's usually groups and then team battles. Team battles and then individual battles, yeah. And it's the same as ever. Anything but killing goes. Outbursts of curses in the early summer. So this is, yeah, we want to get ready before that. Change environment, winter blues, May blues, yeah, okay. Different seasons, makes sense. You want to get stronger. This is really interesting. This is the most interesting part of the episode, like, by far and away. Actually, let's do this. Humans are made up of lies. For every positive action and emotion they show, there's always a flip side. But negative emotions are inherent. They are truths without falsehood. Since we, curses, are born from those emotions, we are true, pure beings. Imitation to be limited. Okay, I don't agree with that last part, but the other one's being limited. Yeah, okay, and then they talk about other stuff. For every positive action and emotion they show, there's always a flip side. This is really interesting, right? I was thinking about it during the ED, and I couldn't really think of something to prove him wrong. Because even like when you're elated, when you're ecstatic, when you're experiencing just pure bliss, there's always going to be a flip side, right? There's always part of your brain trying to kind of reel you in, trying to bring you back to reality. Admittedly, part of that's because how omnipresent, how ubiquitous negativity is. So positive emotions are kind of this thing that should be treasured and also be careful of because it can easily crash back down. But the idea that negative emotions are, on maybe more of a surface level, negative emotions are more pure, they're more true. Because they're what happens when you can't use positive emotions to kind of bottle it up, right? When you're in traffic and you're frustrated, there's obviously deeper levels to that frustration, but there's no like, oh, I'm frustrated and I'm hiding the fact that I'm happy by being frustrated. No, I'm frustrated and that is how I feel, truly, genuinely. I think there's more nuance than that necessarily, but as a general idea, this is really interesting. Hatred, frustration, sadness, these are all like pure emotions, pure representations of your inner character. Happiness, joy, elation, excitement, those can also be very genuine, but they can also very easily be faked. Negative emotions aren't often faked. Hatred and hostility, yeah. You don't fake hostility, right? You just don't. Who fakes hostility? I mean, sorry about that. Who fakes hostility? I mean, if you're going for negotiations, if you're trying to make friends, if you're at business, maybe in business, like you want to make yourself look strong and make yourself look confident, but you don't want to look hostile. You want to look proud and confident, positive emotions. hostility, hatred, resentment, sadness. Those are truths without falsehood. That's an interesting way of describing it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the show develop these ideas further. I would love to go on further discussions about that. Really interesting so far. The only thing I don't agree is obviously we're pure beings born from that. No. I mean, we're born from the soil, right? Oh, nature's super pure. Look at what humanity did. We're born from nature. Why aren't we pure? Being born from purity does not make you pure. Not to say humans are impure or anything like that. Whether they are or not is a whole different discussion, but pureness does not beget pureness because it is pure. That's not how that works. What can we do to defeat it? Please tell me what to do. We need to defeat Gojo, who's the strongest, and we need to get Ryomen, Sukuna, and Itadori Yuji on your side. Very interesting. He died, didn't he? Dang. Fucking idiot. Can't wait for this guy to get what's coming to him. I mean, he's not. He's going to be a very useful tool, so he's not going to die anytime soon because he's incredibly useful. And then, did he though? And sure enough, I assume I'm correct. I'm correct for this. That his soul is now attached to Sukuna. He's dead. He lives on because Sukuna lives on. And then stinkiness. Yeah, Panda smells like sunlight. Interesting. I think I'm missing what the reaction is for. I wonder if Nobara also thinks he smells bad. So they're just like, what in the world? Why is he smelling the opposite? I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see this later in the future. Maybe it's a reference I just don't get. I don't know. Regardless, a much more palatable ending than last time. The event of which we shall no longer speak of. But other than that, a really good episode. Really interesting. A lot of things to discuss. A lot of future building. We're obviously going to have that little tournament arc building out. I did look ahead kind of like passively, and I saw there's several episodes of the sister school thing. I didn't see the full name, so I wasn't sure until I saw it in this episode. So clearly that's a few episodes from now. That's going to be an interesting, larger arc, much larger than this two-parter. I'm really curious to see how that goes. I wonder if Yuji will be revived anytime soon, or if he'll be revived at all, or if he'll kind of live on with Sukuna. I assume he's coming back at some point, like physically too. I wonder if he'll have to barter with Sukuna. Could be really interesting. But we're getting our sort of big enemy faction right now building out, and we're also getting a friendly faction building out. I assume what it'll come down to is these three and potentially other factions all vying for control over the fingers. Which I didn't mention, the curses also clearly have several fingers. Was it worth using a finger to test Sukuna, he said. So they have several fingers, clearly. And they sacrificed one to test Sukuna's strength, giving it to the womb. So we've got these factions building out this capture the flag thing. I'm curious how they will approach it now that they've lost Yuji, which is their method of absorbing the fingers. Maybe they'll find someone else who can do it. Maybe that's where Yuji is similar to her. Maybe she could potentially do it. I doubt it, though, because Gojo was talking about Yuji like he's truly unique. They don't have anyone like that at the time, so I'm not sure what they'll do from here. Maybe dissecting Yuji will give them that place. Or maybe I could see Yuji bartering with Sukuna to somehow bring him back to life, and he just wakes up like at the dissection table as he's starting to get picked apart. I could totally see that being the scene happening. Whether it's next episode, whether it's 2 episodes from now, probably won't be too far from now, but I'm really excited to see how that goes. Overall, a lot of good stuff. Super great conclusion to last episode. Incredible build up for the next one. Phenomenal. I am so engaged with this show. I'm so glad I decided to watch it. It's so much more than action, even if the action is top notch. I am adoring this show, and I can't wait to keep watching it. So glad this is my first true raw reaction series I'm doing on here. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I hope you're looking forward to the future ones as much as I am. If you are, subscribe, follow along. I would appreciate it. Send those likes coming. It's a nice encouragement for me to keep going. But either way, until then, I will see you for the next episode, and have a lovely rest of your day.